Rich Dad, Poor Dad, authored by Robert Kiyosaki, is a seminal work in personal finance literature published in 1997. The book provides a novel approach to understanding and managing finances, significantly different from the conventional wisdom that advocates for higher education and salaried jobs as the path to financial success. Robert Kiyosaki, an American entrepreneur and financial educator, narrates his personal story growing up with two father figures: his biological father, Poor Dad, and his friend's father, Rich Dad. Both individuals had profound impacts on his understanding of money and investing, but in dramatically different ways. These experiences informed his unique perspectives on wealth accumulation and financial independence, which form the backbone of his book. The Poor Dad was a highly educated man and held a secure government job but struggled financially. In contrast, Rich Dad was an entrepreneur with little formal education but amassed significant wealth through his business acumen and investment strategies. Their contrasting beliefs about money, work, and life form the basis for Kiyosaki's teachings on personal finance. The book was written in a period of increased economic uncertainty, where traditional paths to economic success were being challenged. Kiyosaki felt a strong need to address the lack of financial education in the mainstream school system, which he believed left many ill-prepared for the financial realities of the modern world. His aim was to demystify the world of money and provide actionable insights to help individuals navigate their financial journeys. His teachings focus on how to create and grow wealth through entrepreneurship, investing, and increasing one's financial intelligence, providing an alternative path to financial security and independence. The core lessons in the book, although sometimes controversial, have struck a chord with millions worldwide, making it a landmark text in personal finance literature. Poor Dad. Kiyosaki's biological father was a highly educated man who believed in the traditional, time-honored path to financial success. He held a PhD and was employed by the government, a job that provided a regular income but did not result in significant wealth accumulation. His views on money and work formed the foundation of what is often considered the traditional approach to financial stability. Poor Dad's teachings revolved around the concept of hard work and formal education as the principal drivers of financial security. He emphasized the importance of acquiring good grades in school, attending university, and obtaining a degree that could secure a high-paying, steady job. In his view, financial safety was a matter of job security, bolstered by regular promotions and a stable pension plan. His perspective on money was one of scarcity. He often expressed the idea that money was hard to come by and that one should strive to cut down expenses and save wherever possible. These views translated into a life characterized by financial fear and constant struggle, despite a good education and a respectable job. When it came to investments and wealth creation, Poor Dad's approach was relatively conservative. He was skeptical about investing in assets like stocks and real estate due to their perceived riskiness. He leaned more towards savings and conservative investments, such as bonds and certificates of deposits. He believed that these were safer because they provided a certain return, even if relatively small. His advice to Kiyosaki was often, "Study hard so you can find a good company to work for. Act steady, don't take risks. Buy a house because it's a safe asset." These statements reflect his cautious outlook on money and his adherence to the conventional pathways of achieving financial success. While Poor Dad's teachings were well-intentioned and reflective of a widely accepted narrative, they did not lead to substantial financial prosperity. This reality highlighted the limitations of traditional views on money and wealth creation, prompting Kiyosaki to seek an alternative approach to financial independence, inspired by his Rich Dad. Rich Dad, Kiyosaki's friend's father, was a successful businessman who had not received formal education beyond the 8th grade. However, his understanding of money, wealth creation, and financial independence was vastly different from that of Poor Dad. Rich Dad's lessons form the crux of Kiyosaki's teachings, providing an alternative perspective on managing finances and creating wealth. Rich Dad believed in financial independence, achieved not through a high-paying job but through entrepreneurship and investment. He had an abundant view of money and was convinced that financial education was key to wealth accumulation. Unlike Poor Dad, who advocated for cutting costs and saving, Rich Dad focused on generating income through investments and businesses. One of Rich Dad's fundamental lessons was the importance of financial literacy. He stressed understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, a concept that he believed was crucial to wealth accumulation. He simplified the concept by defining assets as things that put money in one's pocket and liabilities as things that take money out. Another pivotal lesson was the idea of minding your own business. Rich Dad taught Kiyosaki that people spend so much time working for others their jobs, and the government through taxes that they neglect to work for themselves. He encouraged investing time and money into building and buying assets such as real estate, businesses, stocks, and bonds. Moreover, Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to learn about taxes and understand how they could affect his income. He taught that financially educated people can use legal loopholes to their advantage to save on taxes, making it a crucial part of financial education. A key takeaway from Rich Dad's lessons was the cash flow quadrant. The quadrant consists of the employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. According to Rich Dad, most people fall into the employee or self-employed category, trading their time for money. However, to attain financial freedom, one must aim to be in the business owner or investor category, making money work for them. Lastly, Rich Dad believed that taking calculated financial risks was essential for financial growth. Unlike Poor Dad, who avoided risk, Rich Dad argued that financial education reduces risk. This lesson encouraged Kiyosaki to become a lifelong learner, continually expanding his financial knowledge and investment portfolio. Rich Dad's teachings gave Kiyosaki an alternative view on money and wealth, emphasizing financial education, asset accumulation, and calculated risk-taking. This perspective forms the foundation of Kiyosaki's advice in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and his other work. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is filled with several powerful and enduring concepts that have redefined personal finance for millions worldwide. Here are the key concepts from the book. The cash flow quadrant. This concept represents the different methods through which income can be generated: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. Kiyosaki argues that to achieve financial freedom, one must aim to generate income predominantly from the right side of the quadrant: business owner, and investor, where money works for you rather than you working for money. Assets and liabilities. One of the most influential lessons from the book is understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Kiyosaki defines an asset as something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability as something that takes money out of your pocket. He suggests focusing on acquiring assets, such as real estate, stocks, bonds, or businesses, and minimizing liabilities like mortgages, loans, and consumer debt. Rat race term refers to the endless self-defeating or pointless pursuit of financial stability through traditional employment. It's the cycle of earning and spending, leaving little room for wealth accumulation. The goal, according to Kiyosaki, is to escape the rat race by moving towards financial independence through investments in income-generating assets. Pay yourself first. This principle encourages individuals to prioritize saving or investing before paying bills or debts. It is a method of ensuring that a portion of income is set aside for future wealth creation. This strategy motivates individuals to find ways to make their saved money grow, and to settle debts and expenses in creative ways. Mind your own business. This phrase emphasizes the need to focus on creating and managing your own assets instead of working for someone else's business. Kiyosaki encourages readers to become business owners and investors, to work for themselves, and to continually invest in and expand their asset portfolio. Fear and desire. Kiyosaki discusses how these two emotions often lead to poor financial decisions. Fear of not having enough money prompts many to work harder, while desire or greed can lead them to spend more, often creating debt. Overcoming these emotions and focusing on knowledge and wisdom is key to financial independence. Power of corporations. The book also discusses the strategic use of corporations to protect and efficiently manage wealth. Kiyosaki points out how wealthy individuals use corporations to limit personal liabilities, protect assets, and leverage tax advantages. The importance of learning. Kiyosaki stresses that continuous learning is crucial to financial success. This involves keeping up to date with financial knowledge, developing investment skills, and understanding the legal aspects of investing in business. These concepts have transformed the way readers approach personal finance. The principles serve as a foundation to financial literacy, encouraging readers to think differently about money, investments, and financial independence, ultimately empowering them to take control of their financial future. Despite the success and widespread influence of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the book and its author, Robert Kiyosaki, have faced considerable criticism and controversy. One of the main critiques centers around Kiyosaki's claim that higher education is unnecessary for financial success. Critics argue that while entrepreneurship and financial education are crucial, downplaying the importance of formal education can be misleading. They maintain that education equips individuals with a broad set of skills and knowledge, which can be beneficial in various life areas, including financial management. The book's oversimplification of complex financial concepts has also been subject to criticism. Critics argue that Kiyosaki's definitions of assets and liabilities, for instance, are overly simplistic and can be misleading. While the book provides a good starting point for beginners, it may not adequately prepare readers for the complexities they may encounter when dealing with real-world financial matters. Additionally, some financial experts have critiqued the book for promoting risky investment strategies and encouraging readers to take on unnecessary financial risks. Critics contend that such an approach might lead individuals, especially inexperienced investors, to make poor financial decisions. A notable controversy involving Kiyosaki is the speculation around the existence of Rich Dad. Kiyosaki has repeatedly refused to disclose the real identity of Rich Dad, leading some to question the authenticity of the character and the lessons derived from him. The legal issues surrounding Kiyosaki's company, Rich Global LLC, have also added to the controversies. The company filed for bankruptcy in 2012 after losing a nearly $24 million lawsuit, which raised questions about Kiyosaki's financial acumen. Despite these criticisms and controversies, Rich Dad, Poor Dad continues to be a popular and influential book in the personal finance genre. Its teachings have prompted many readers to reassess their approach to money and investment, emphasizing the importance of financial education and the quest for financial independence. The teachings from Rich Dad, Poor Dad are not just theoretical. They can be implemented in real life with potentially transformative effects on one's financial condition. Below are some practical examples of how Kiyosaki's teachings can be applied. Financial literacy and education. One of the most fundamental lessons from Kiyosaki is the importance of financial education. This can begin with learning about personal finance, investments, taxes, and the legal aspects of business and investing. These learnings can be applied to make informed decisions about investments, retirement planning, tax savings, and more. For example, understanding compound interest can help individuals recognize the long-term benefits of investing and saving early. Assets and liabilities. This concept can guide purchasing decisions. For example, instead of buying a new car, which depreciates over time and thus is a liability, one might invest in mutual funds, stocks, or real estate, which have the potential to generate income or increase in value over time, thereby qualifying as assets. The cash flow quadrant. Understanding this concept can influence one's career and income generation strategy. For instance, an individual might decide to transition from being an employee or self-employed to becoming a business owner or investor. This could mean starting a side business while maintaining a day job or investing in income-generating assets like rental properties or dividend-paying stocks. Pay yourself first. By adopting this principle, one can prioritize wealth accumulation. This may involve setting up automatic transfers to a savings or investment account each payday before addressing other expenses. This approach encourages disciplined savings and investment habits. Mind your own business. This phrase can be a motivating factor for people to start their own ventures or focus on increasing their asset. For example, a graphic designer might start a freelance business in addition to their regular job, or a person might invest in rental property to generate additional income. Fear and desire. Recognizing these emotions can help individuals control impulse spending or avoid unwise investments made out of fear of missing out. It encourages a more balanced, logical approach to financial decisions. Power of corporations. Understanding this concept could encourage individuals to consider setting up a corporation to gain potential tax benefits and asset protection. For instance, freelance professionals might establish an LLC to take advantage of certain business expense deductions. While implementing these concepts, it's important to remember that every person's financial situation is unique. What works for one person may not work for another. Therefore, financial decisions should be made based on one's circumstances, goals, and risk tolerance. Ultimately, the book's teachings aim to encourage financial independence and prosperity through continuous learning, wise financial management, and strategic investment. Since its publication in 1997, Rich Dad, Poor Dad has had a considerable impact on its readers and the personal finance genre. The book has sold millions of copies worldwide and has been translated into more than 50 languages, making it one of the most popular personal finance books in history. Robert Kiyosaki's unconventional wisdom has challenged traditional beliefs about money, education, and employment. His emphasis on financial education, wealth creation, and financial independence has inspired countless readers to reconsider their approach to money and investment. The simple, relatable language and engaging storytelling have made complex financial concepts accessible to a wide audience. The book's influence extends beyond individual readers to shape broader societal and financial trends. For instance, the emphasis on financial literacy has contributed to a growing recognition of its importance, with more educational institutions incorporating financial education into their curriculums. Additionally, the emphasis on entrepreneurship and creating multiple income streams has become more prevalent in the evolving economic landscape. The popularity of Rich Dad, Poor Dad also led to a series of other books, games, and seminars, further expanding its influence. Kiyosaki's company, Rich Global LLC, has launched initiatives like the Cash Flow board game and the Rich Dad Coaching, both aiming to enhance financial education and promote strategic investment and wealth creation strategies. However, the book's impact is not without controversy. As discussed earlier, some of the book's teachings, Kiyosaki's dismissive views on formal education, and the legal issues faced by his company have sparked criticism and debate. In spite of these controversies, the book remains a seminal work in personal finance literature. Its teachings continue to inspire readers to take control of their financial destiny and strive for financial independence. Regardless of one's opinion on the book, its impact and influence on the conversation about money and investment cannot be understated. Rich Dad, Poor Dad has been a guiding force in the realm of personal finance for over 2 decades. The book's central message, to shift the mindset from working for money to having money work for you, resonates powerfully even today. In an increasingly complex financial landscape, Kiyosaki's teachings on financial literacy, the significance of assets over liabilities, and the pursuit of financial independence remain deeply relevant. Kiyosaki's assertion that financial success comes not from money itself, but from financial education and intelligence is a paradigm shift for many. It nudges readers towards self-directed learning and encourages proactive steps to understand money management, investments, and personal finance. While some of Kiyosaki's ideas have sparked controversy, especially regarding his views on formal education and his simplistic view of assets and liabilities, the overarching principles provide a valuable perspective to anyone interested in enhancing their financial literacy. The enduring popularity of Rich Dad, Poor Dad underscores its value and impact. It has served as an introduction to personal finance for many, sparking conversations about money that might not otherwise have occurred. It has empowered readers to take charge of their financial future, promoting an entrepreneurial spirit and an investment mindset. In conclusion, Rich Dad, Poor Dad presents an alternative perspective on wealth creation, challenging traditional notions of employment, education, and investing. Despite criticisms and controversies, its influence remains evident in its millions of readers worldwide. The book underscores the importance of financial education and intelligent money management, principles that continue to be relevant in today's rapidly evolving financial world.